New videos every day.
Hey, this is Celina from Foodsmarty, and we're going to be doing some really great dishes today involving mushrooms. Portobello stuffed cat mushroom, sprouted lentil stir fry, and our Swiss chard and mushrooms. Okay, so I've washed these mushrooms off, but you can see they kind of get a lot of water up in those gills there, so I just like to pat them dry a little bit. Mushrooms are actually a really great source of vegetarian protein, so they're a wonderful thing if you're a vegetarian or trying to get some other source of protein. And one thing great about them is they don't have any fat in them. So, usually you have nuts which have fat in them as a vegetarian source of protein. Legumes are good too. So what I'm going to do is, some people like to cut the stems off, but mine are, if yours are really hard, you can do that. Mine are pretty soft, so I'm just going to kind of skip that. I'm just going to kind of grab that and twist that around. I'm going to take off all these the insides here. You can also scoop some of the middle part out there, but I've got so many mushrooms that I'm just going to kind of like chop up mushrooms with my zucchinis, tomatoes, some red onion, a little bit of thyme, and some breadcrumbs, and put that on top and make a nice stuffing. Yeah. See. So some of these big meatiness you can just kind of scrape out, being careful not to break it. That'll give us a lot more space for our stuffing. Mushrooms are actually a powerhouse of nutrients, and they've got phytonutrients and different vitamins and minerals that you wouldn't find necessarily elsewhere, like selenium. Selenium is a really hard nutrient to get, especially if you're on a vegetarian diet. They also have other B vitamins in them. Niacin is one that comes to mind. Niacin is really important for your nervous system and your digestive health, to keep everything moving and functioning properly. It's also, if you know anyone that has restless legs, that's from a lack of niacin. Well, niacin can inhibit that sort of movement. So we're going to do a rough chop of these, and I also have some really great mushroom here. You can use any type of other mushrooms to add in flavor. You could just use cremini mushrooms or oyster mushrooms. All kinds of different varieties out there. Okay, so I'm going to just put these mushrooms here in the bowl. And I've got some zucchini, or you could call them courgettes. They're actually the same family as cucumbers, winter squash, melons. I think it's cubete family, cucurbitae family. I can't pronounce it very well. So I'm just going to do those in force. Zucchini are a great source of folic acid. They're also very low in calories. I think they originated in the Americas, and then they eventually found their way back to the English and the Italians. Zucchini also have beta carotene in them. I think the darker the color, the more nutritious they are, and sometimes you'll see zucchinis are a little more yellow or orange. Those actually are the ones that have higher amounts of beta carotene. Beta carotene is really great antioxidant. It's also called vitamin A. It's really great if you're a smoker, or for your night vision, protecting against heart disease. All right, so then we're going to add a little bit of tomato in. You can put as much and as little as of any of the ingredients that you want. I think I'm going to put 2 tomatoes and 1 zucchini today. Really, you could do like any sort of vegetables that you have lying around the house. You could use a white onion instead of red onion. You could just chop up the insides of the portobellos with mushrooms. With onion. That would work out. Okay, so I'm going to put some red onion in here. You could use any type of onion. You could use red onion, green onion, white onion, yellow onion. I really like the flavor of red onion. It's a little sweeter than the other onions. I'm just going to kind of dice a little bit up here. And onions are really healthy food. They're same family of garlic family. We've got properties that fight off bacteria and viral infections. So then I'm going to I've got a little bit of French thyme right here. There's all kinds of different varieties of thyme. You can just pick one out. And then I'm going to kind of just break this apart, put it in here. Might have to go to the garden and get some more thyme. Okay, so this is where it all happens. This is where everything grows in the ground. And okay, be careful from the baby ones. So I've got some baby radishes here, so I'm going to try not to smash them, but I've got some, sorry, baby radishes. I've got some different varieties of thyme. Let's see, which one is this one? French thyme, lemon thyme, just regular thyme. I'm going to get some of this regular thyme here. It might have a name, but I'm not sure. Okay, just a little handful. You just kind of like break off the side leaves, the stalk will keep growing. It'll make more thyme. Okay, so I got a nice little handful there. I'll try to jump over the baby plants. Okay, so I've got my last bit of thyme here. Kind of break it up. Just going to kind of stir that all together. See how it looks and see if I decide I want to add a little bit more. Looks like it's a little lacking on the tomato side. I do have one more tomato. I think I might add a little bit more tomato. Those will cook up really, really nicely. People say bread knife, the only thing it's good for is cutting bread, but it's actually good for cutting the skin of that tomato. Chops up real nicely. What I'm going to do is this. If you look at my mushrooms, I've got a lot more mushrooms than stuffing, which is not a bad thing. We're actually going to make it a really good thing because we're going to turn half of our stuffing into another dish. I'm going to fry it up with some sprouted lentils that I've got. And then the other half, I'm going to mix up with some breadcrumbs and put it in our mushrooms. So I'm just going to put these tomato in here. Stir it around. Oh, that's looking good. Add a little bit of salt and pepper. And then now you can just put this just like this. If you want to leave out the bread or you don't have crumbs, you can just put that right in there and bake it, and it will be delicious. So I'm going to take out some of this because we've got some extra and use just this plain part to fry. But you could just fry it up the way it is too. Eat that. Actually, you could eat this raw and it would be delicious raw. Okay, so we're going to go the traditional route with the rest of these because the person I'm cooking for really likes kind of like your traditional regular foods. I personally love it just straight like this. And you could eat it raw like this and have like a wonderful raw dish, or you can stick this in the oven for half an hour and make it all soft and yummy. So I'm going to add in 2 organic eggs. Got some eggs here from Vital Farms. Just going to kind of smash those in. People worry about the cholesterol in eggs, but I actually think that the cholesterol, well, I know that the cholesterol, your body needs cholesterol. You know, all your cell membranes need cholesterol. Bile acid, which binds food in your intestine and binds fats, it's actually made from cholesterol, in the liver. So I'm just gonna do that up and mix it up. And then this is some gluten-free bread that I baked. You can find it on my website. This bread is so great. It's made with whole grains, garbanzo flour, tapioca flour, teff flour. Teff flour is like one of those like magic grains. It's got so many nutritional values in it. So I just added a handful. I just kind of broke it off and crumbled up my bread in there, about 1/3 cup. I'm going to mix that up in there. I don't like it to be too bready. Just something to kind of hold it together. You could also add in like a tablespoon of garbanzo flour. That would work. Okay, so we've got that there. Now we're just going to spoon this into our filling right into our mushroom caps. You could also put some garlic in here. That would be really good. Mushrooms and zucchini are also really good because they're both really low in calories, but they've got a lot of water and fiber in them. So well, the zucchini has a lot of fiber, so they're very filling foods. We're just going to cook this at 350 for, till it's nice and soft. You can cook it anywhere from 15 minutes just to warm it up and make it gush together. You can cook it about half an hour. I'm going to cook mine for about half an hour. Put it in a glass pan. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and bake mine with the one without the breadcrumbs and eggs. That'll be really good too. Okay, just going to throw these in the oven. Okay, so I think our stuffed mushrooms are ready. And these look so fancy. I mean, you could serve these at a dinner party. People would be so impressed, or take them somewhere, and they were so easy. Look at that. Doesn't that look great? Look how juicy that is. I mean, just like a steak. Smells kind of steaky too, which is yummy. I love steak. But don't eat it all the time. Now this, you could eat this all the time. See? Now see how this one here is really nice and like light, and then over here, the one with the breadcrumbs, and that's kind of like your traditional stuffed sort of mushroom. You can see over here, see how it's really nice and sticks all together. Okay, so this is Celina with Foodsmarty. Please rate my video and subscribe, or leave a comment if there's some question or concern you have, or if you want me to make something or wondering how to cook a certain food item, I'd be glad to share with you. Thanks, come again.